What is your Tyler's back with the retro reviews with Halloween Havoc 1991. It's coincidence that I'm recording this on the day of the 25th anniversary of next week's review, Halloween Havoc 1999. But regardless, that's next week. So you obviously know. On Halloween Day itself also, so this show was not good. It's one of the worst WCW pay-per-views. I have to say it. October 27th at the UTC Center in Charleston, Tennessee. Somewhere in Tennessee. I don't know what the fuck it was. And basically, this show was like what? 3.5 months after Ric Flair's firing? So, there's basically that. Also, this has one of the ridiculous match stipulations ever. Which, coincidentally, we're going to kick that off. The Chamber of Horrors match. What the fuck is that, you say? Well, they changed the fucking rules in this match. I mean, the original match, I watched Wrestling Bio's video about this. All the competitors must get out of the cage within a time limit, or they must face the consequences or something like that. Well, that is out the window. Instead, you won't fucking believe the stipulated match. This stipulation of the win the match. You must get one of the members of the team in the chair of torture and render them helpless, which means you're going to murder your opponent on live pay-per-view. I can't keep up with a straight voice, a straight face. I can't help but laugh at that stupid stipulation. Oh, God. What the fuck, man? So, the competitors are Sting, El Gigante, the future Johnny Gonzalez, and the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, defeat. Now, the face team was the same, but the heel team changed. For what reason? The original heel team was supposed to be the Diamond Stud, aka Scott Hall, Oz, Kevin Nash, if you saw my Wrestling Dumpster Fires on that ridiculous gimmick. One-man game, but he got fired because he didn't want to lose to PN News, and a babyface Barry Windham, but he got taken out of the match by Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko, the enforcers of this. Instead, you get a duel. The heel team changed it except for Scott Hall, aka never mind. Which are a duel of the Butcher, the Diamond Stud, aka Scott Hall, Cactus Jack, and Vader. This is the most ridiculous fucking match ever. I thought the Kennel from Hell match at Unforgiven in '99 was the most ridiculous match ever. This is a more ridiculous type of match. The best thing about was Scott Steiner fucking up some guy in a dark mask and putting him through a steel cage. Like, get your fucking ass in that cage! I don't know what the fuck he did to that guy, but it was so funny. And, yeah, there's a switch. Where, like I said, the way to win this match, you have to put one of your members of the team, the other opposed of the enemy team, in a fucking chair, and you make sure they're fucking killed or something like that. But the fucking switch went on, nothing happens. And it's such a fucking shame because of it. The finish came. Rick started belly to belly to duel into the fucking chair of torture or whatever. Oh, by the way, Nick Patrick was wearing a fucking referee camera. So I guess this is where WWE expired that whole referee camera thing from SummerSlam and the Bad Blood. So I don't understand the fucking camera thing. It was so fucking ridiculous. So Captain Shake is trying to pull the lever down, and he didn't know it was a duel with a butcher in there, so he inadvertently cost his team the match. So is Abby dead? Fuck no, he no-sold that shit. So what the fuck was this? I'm giving it a 2 for Scott Steiner being funny, but it's a fucking shame because outside of Giant Gonzalez and Duel the Butcher, mostly they're really good workers. Sting, the Steiner brothers, Mick Foley, Vader, and Scott Hall are all good workers, but they had to deal with this fucking match. And the fucking referee camera. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways. Next up, we get Big Jaws, who is the future Doink the Clown, and Pia News defeats the Creatures. Don't know. It was just a random match. It was mostly a squash match, really. Next. I ain't ranking it because it's just a squash match. Anyways, then Bobby Eaton defeats Terrence Taylor, aka Terry Taylor, in a pretty good match. Finally, a good fucking match. It's 6 out of 10, I'll give it. So yeah, good match. Thankfully. Anyway, Johnny B. Bad defeats Jimmy Garvin in a match. 4 out of 10, I'll give it. Anyways, next up is for the WCW World Television Championship. Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes ends in a time limit draw, and pretty good. It's weird to look at Steve Austin with hair. I have to point that out. Austin looks weird with hair. But regardless of it, not their best match. I think their Starrcade match 3 years later was their best one, or their Halloween Havoc match minus the stupid finish. Regardless, it was 6.5, I'll give it. Bill Kazmaier, I don't know who the fuck he is, defeats Oz, Kevin Nash, in a bad match. I mean, Kevin Nash at this point was green, no pun intended, because he's wearing green outfit. And yeah, the less I said about the Oz gimmick, the better. I did a dumpster fire on my main channel. 0. And then we got Van Hammer defeating Doug whatever his name is. He was supposed to face Michael Hayes, but he decided not to do this, which, thank God for that. This has that botched suplex, also. I can't rank this because this is also a squash match. I mean, this was a botch fest, also. Anyways. Anyways, then we get the match for the crown a new WCW Light Heavyweight Championship, which it went over like a fart in church, like the WCW Hardcore Championship and the WCW Women's Championship also. Brian Pillman defeats Richard Morton, aka heel Ricky Morton. My bad. To become the first Light Heavyweight Championship. And that fucking referee camera. Oh my fucking god. That fucking thing is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. And why did they ever decide to use a fucking referee camera in their match? Like, why? Why? Why do referees agree with that? I mean, it's a fine match, but the fucking referee camera ruined it. 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, but that referee camera was stupid. Anyways, then we get the Halloween Danny Phantom. I know, it's not called that. The Danny Phantom cartoon show didn't exist until 2004. I know. The Halloween Phantom, aka we know who this guy is, defeats Tom Zank in another squash match. The Halloween Phantom, by the way, is Rick Rude. Because Paul Heyman I know he was not called Paul Heyman, he was called Paulie Dangerously, so he introduced the man who takes things, U.S. Shimmy, which that did happen on also, was Rick Rude. I mean, it was obvious because of the fucking mustache. Regardless of that squash match, really. Anyways, then we get the semi-main event for the WCW World Tag Team Championships. The Enforcers of Art Anderson and Larry Zbyszko defeats the Patriots. Todd Chimney and Firebreaker Chip. Don't know who these guys are. This was not great. A 4 out of 10 I'll give it. And that's all I have to say. Okay, finally with the main event. 10 matches down, 1 more match to go. There's 11 matches on the card. Jesus Christ. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It's that weird looking WCW Championship that Vader holds. And Ron Simmons, by the way, who held it. I gotta say this right now. I don't like this design of the WCW Championship. I'm sorry, it looks ugly. Lex Luger defeats Ron Simmons 2-1 to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The best fucking match on this show. Compared to the rest of the card. Well, not much, but yeah. Luger, unfortunately, was on his way out, and he would drop the belt to Sting at the second Super Brawl pay-per-view. Super Brawl Saturday? No. I just had to make that joke. 8 out of 10, I'll give it. The best match on this show. But honestly, they should just call it audible and have Ron Simmons win the title, but they did in 92, but whatever. This was bad. I've seen WCW pay-per-views in 1999 and 2000 were better than this. Was as bad as the Great American Bash? Sort of. But I can't recommend this show. This show was terrible. A 3 out of 10 I'll give it. A 3 out of 10 I'll give it. So next week, Halloween Havoc 1999. Hey, at least I had Goldberg and Sid Vicious on that show. RIP to Sid. But this was the first WCW pay-per-view to have Vince Russo. Not this show. Next week's review, okay? Next week's, okay? On Halloween itself. So, that's perfect timing for me. Tomorrow I'll do my SmackDown review. Saturday, I'll count down every road to WrestleMania from SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. I make the list. There's only like 5 road to WrestleMania. Although there's supposed to be a 6th road to WrestleMania, but I won't tell you until that review. Sunday, I'll do the Wrestling Stumps or Fires on that. And moving on. like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel here, click the notification bell, as well as my main channel also. So, there's that. Goodbye.